The Switch may be beating the best console of all time, and Redfall breaks records, but not the records that you're thinking of.
Here we go.
Switch hardware sales now over 125 million. PS2, Nintendo DS target still a ways off. This article comes from Nintendo Life. Let's get into it. It says Nintendo has posted its end-of-the-year report for fiscal year 2023, and as of March 2023, the Switch family of devices has sold over 3 million since the last quarter, bringing the lifetime total number of units sold to 126 million units. 126 million consoles out there in the wild. Back in February, the total stood at 122.55, which took sales past the milestone set by both the Game Boy and Sony's PlayStation 4. The Nintendo DS is still ahead in the rank of best-selling video game consoles, though, with a whopping 154.02 million lifetime sales to its name, and Sony's PS2 tops the table with 155 million. So let's take a minute to address really quickly the narrative that I see spun around the success of the Nintendo Switch. It's not really a console, it's a handheld. Folks, they made a Nintendo Switch Lite, which is just a handheld because there's a certain segment of that market that only plays handheld. And the reason that that's important is because it infers that there is also a large percentage of the market that plays it connected to a television like a console. It is a hybrid, and folks, if you don't know what the word hybrid means and you're constantly pushing this idea that the Switch is just a handheld, but it's also a hybrid, then you need to go back to school, because a hybrid does more than one thing, and the more than one thing that the Switch does is it's a console and it's portable. Thank you very much. The best-selling console this generation is the Nintendo Switch. Will it catch the PlayStation 2? These numbers are before the Zelda OLED Switch console was launched and will be launching here soon, so the numbers will be much higher. Let me know if you think it's going to catch the PS2 and become the best-selling console. I know it hurts to hear that, folks. It's a console, it's a hybrid, it's also a handheld, it's both. It's going to be counted as a console because it is a console. Just taste it. You got to deal with it. Will it catch the PlayStation 2? I don't know. I think it may do it by the end of this generation. It could be at 156 million units sold. Next up, we're going to talk about Redfall breaking records, but not the records that I think it should be breaking. Now, I've seen some people take this metric of just looking on the Xbox console in the top 20 played on a very small group of consumers because the Xbox Series consoles haven't sold that much, and Redfall locked to Game Pass, locked to just that box. Not really a great metric to use for success. Ultimately, what Microsoft wants is the success in the larger market, and the only way to judge that success, because Microsoft won't tell us how many copies these games sell, because that ultimately is the number one metric for success, you've got to look at who is playing it on these larger platforms like Twitch, like wherever you can stream a video game. So based on just that metric, Redfall isn't doing very well. No one's playing it, no one's streaming it, there isn't a lot of buzz surrounding it. But let's talk about these records that Redfall is breaking. Well, according to this article from Forbes that I will link in the description below, like all professional YouTubers should do, Redfall slips into Steam's top 15 worst reviewed games of all time. Folks, let's look at this list. The number one worst reviewed game of all time, according to Steam, is War of the Three Kingdoms. Number 2, Flat Out 3, Chaos and Destruction. Number 3, Identity. Never heard of any of these games. Number 4, Uriel's Chasm. Number 5, Space Base. Number 6, O2 Jam Online. Number 7, Roller Coaster Tycoon World. Number 8, Goddess. Number 9, Connectic Void. Number 10, Mirror 2 Project X. Number 11, Sacred 3. Number 12, Towns. Number 13, Gasp. And number 14 is Redfall. Rounding it out with number 15 is Umbrella Corporations. A list of games that almost no one's ever heard of, almost no one's played, almost no one's talking about, almost no one is streaming, and Redfall is right in there breaking records. And before you chalk up this news to just another Redfall hate video for clout or clicks, folks, you can go over to Twitch WorryWartGamer. I'm streaming the end game of this game. I've played all the way up to the point where I've killed the Hollow Man, and now I am escaping the, I think it's the Forbidden Forest or the Hidden Forest, something like that. But you can go check that out. I'm knee-deep in Redfall, and I can tell you that it is not a great game. And the idea that, well, you're having fun with it, so that means all of these other critiques and all of this other lack of success in the larger market is just dismissed. I don't know what world we're living in where that becomes a metric, but God bless if that is your metric for success. We're a few days away from Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. The Switch is just continuing to crush it when it comes to great software and putting out great hardware. Could they catch PlayStation 2 and become the greatest selling console of all time? And what do you think about the fall from grace, Arcane? I mean, I was playing Dishonored just last night, thinking to myself, how in the world do you go from Dishonored and then Prey and then Redfall? Something is just not right within that studio. I don't know what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. I want to thank you for watching this video. Over 670 subscribers to the YouTube channel. Never thought I would get to that point. I'm not a big YouTuber. I don't spend a lot of time engaging with the quote-unquote community, but I want to appreciate and I want to thank everyone for subscribing. Think about hitting that like button and subscribing if this is your first time here, and I will see you in the next video.